Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote in the Highlands. I'm going to do a really quick video on something someone asked me about. They asked me with an emoji, but, you know, what is it that the news is distracting you from now? And my answer was abundance. And people, especially in the prepper and homestead and doomer optimist community, really don't think that way. So I'm going to do a longer video on this, much longer, excessively long, annoyingly long, really ridiculous, probably 3 videos later on. Right now I want to do a really short one. While it is possible that the machinations of the corporations, the media, the deep state, the globalists, and the general establishment will fail and they will cause a total collapse of all the things, the likelihood is that that is not going to happen. The powerful seem to always stay in power, and sometimes that doesn't look right, like the fall of Rome. Well, it wasn't the fall of Roman families, okay? A lot of times those families changed and shifted as new blood came in, but the powerful stayed powerful by and large. They shifted their allegiances, they shifted their home bases, they shifted their marriage licenses, but generation after generation, while the powers wane and wax and go through their cycles, the powerful people and elites still exist and run the things. It's been that way ever since the, what's the phrase? I forget the phrase. The big shift in religions with the solar religions and agriculture and everything. Anyway, back to the topic. These elites, these powers, these globalists, they're probably not going to fall in the way that you think they are. They're probably not going to have a complete collapse of all the things where they're dead, you're dead, everyone's dead except the guy growing rice in the holler in Tennessee. All right, that's not going to happen. What they're keeping from us, however, is abundance, because they want control. They want absolute, total control, and they've got it in their head. They're running the program that there is a danger and a resource crunch and a zero-sum game, and everything's got to go downhill somehow. I don't know why they're running that program, because it's fairly obviously a bullshit program, but they are. So what they're keeping from you is abundance. They're keeping from you cheap energy, clean energy. They're keeping from you economic independence. They're keeping from you mental and psychological independence with their consumerist corporate society. What they're keeping from you, what the news is hiding from you, is abundance. Prior to COVID-19, and we don't actually have the data to support conclusions about what happened in the pandemic for real, but prior to COVID-19, global hunger was solved. It didn't mean that everyone had a Western diet and could go out and buy a Big Mac or have Buffalo Wild Wings every day. But global hunger, starvation, people starving to death, was systemically, capacity, abundance solved. If people were starving in larger numbers than a handful, it was for political reasons because someone was deliberately doing it to them. But global hunger, the problem, the thing the UN is screeching about right now, solved. They won't let you know that. They won't let you accept that. What they're hiding from you is abundance. We have what it takes right now for every person on the planet to have something approaching a middle-class U.S. standard of living in the 20s to 40s. Like that 20s or 40s, not the Great Depression. We're a couple years away from hitting something closer to the 1950s or 1960s if you count the self-sufficient rural people who want to do their thing their way as part of that general, broad American middle class. Not necessarily economic middle class, but opportunity and lifestyle and self-determination. You know, so that's a really big deal. It's abundance. It's all about abundance. It's what they're hiding from you. It's what they're dramatizing. I don't really think... Now, I'm prepping for it because everyone should prep for it, because these people are scary stupid and could do things really bad and something could go off the rails. the amount of off the rails that it would take to actually collapse global society at this point to that degree is insane. But they seem to be colluding with each other to do the stupidest things possible. So maybe, right? But what they're hiding from you is abundance. And that is where... I don't want to use Musk because he's too much in the news, but he's an example. That's where people like Musk come in. He has a upwards trajectory vision of the future where the Klaus Schwabs and the Bill Gates and the Al Gores and all of the people in the globalist and establishment and deep state community have a vision of trying to make things better for them while everyone else gets worse off because that's how they feel the zero-sum game, the resource crunch, the whatever, the minus-sum game has to be played. Completely, totally, absolutely, 100% fake news. It's a program they're pushing on you. And it doesn't help because everyone has their identities tied up in this crisis mode. Here's the thing. You can change that, you can own that, and you can make that go in a different direction. It is absolutely a crisis. They are absolutely trying to drive you into the dirt as a slave. It's not about the supply chain failing. It's not about $7 a gallon gas. It's not about the world collapsing to the point where you and your neighbor's ARs are the only thing keeping you fed. It's about slavery. Prep. Get independent. Get off the system. Get off the grid. Get out of their clutches. What they're distracting you from every day, day in, day out, and they do this with the climate emergency. They do this with the predictions of doom. They do this with the global collapse predictions. They're the ones driving that. They're trying to keep you asleep or in fear and enslaved. So, yeah, what they're hiding from you is abundance. Stay sideways.